Hi, I'm Helen with Floating Yoga School. I've got the West Maui Mountains behind me, and I'm about to do a 30-minute practice focused on building strength and confidence for inversions. And this is part 2. I have a part 1. You can do them in any order. This one will build upon a little bit of the strength that we worked on in part 1, starting to play with some floating and flying, but also focusing on that confidence and core strength, back strength, leg flexibility to allow us to get into inversions more safely and more comfortably. We're going to get started today in a child's pose at the back of your space. So your knees can be together or touching, big toes touch, hips to heels. Walk your arms out in front and relax your forehead down. Take a couple of breaths in your child's pose just to really arrive and settle. And imagine that you can send breath into your back body. Really expand through the back line. Low back, middle back, and upper back. And let your breath get a little deeper and longer. Slow, steady inhales and exhales. As you next inhale, lift to tabletop, hands and knees. Spread your fingertips wide. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your knees right below your hips. Move through cow and cat. Inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, send your heart forward, lift your gaze. Exhale, scoop round, really press the earth away. Couple more times like that, arching and rounding. And then bring yourself back to neutral spine. Walk your hands a little bit forward or your knees a little bit back. We want a supported plank. So rather than that tabletop shape, knees behind hips, you can always go into regular plank, but we're gonna play with some little tricep push-ups, building some heat. Inhale, slight shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, back up. And exhale, halfway. Really press into your fingers. Continue to move with your breath. Notice if all the weight is going into your wrists. And then see what other muscles you can recruit. So I notice my low belly just sort of hanging out quite literally. Can you engage low belly, engage your glutes? Even turn on your legs a little bit to find some full body strength. Let's do one more. Hold it low and take it all the way to your belly. Baby cobra, lift your heart, press into the tops of your feet, hug your shoulder blades together and down your back. And exhale, lower. Reach your arms out in front, chin or forehead to your mat. We're going to inhale to a variation of locust. Lift your hands and your feet if that's okay. Exhale, cactus your arms, elbows to the sides. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Maybe you get even higher. 1 more. Extend long and lower down. Keep arms and legs extended and then begin to lift once more and flutter opposite arm and leg. Try to lift your low belly off the ground, building some heat here, some strength through your back. You can almost imagine a handstand shape. And then lower down, back to your child's pose. And you might try this one with your knees together to really release your low back. Embryo variation, arms can wrap around your legs. Palms face up. Find your way to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. And take some time here to pedal out or sway a little side to side. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward to your hands. Step or hop to the top of your space, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold and breathe it out. Inhale, rise up, reach up, hands float high, look up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Shift your weight to your left foot. You can take one-legged Tadasana. Right knee comes with you as you lift your arms, a little balance. Exhale to an easy warrior 3. Hands to your heart, send your foot back. So don't lift it way off the ground. Don't worry about getting to 90. Just start to find a little bit of balance, a little bit of strength, core, glutes, wherever you can use, whatever you can use, wherever you can recruit some muscle strength to play with that balance. One more breath in. As you exhale, you're gonna take a big bend in your standing leg, hands to the ground, right foot steps to the back of your mat. So just kind of continuing into that supported lunge. Sink your hips, inhale, look forward. Exhale, lift your hips, cat lunge. Maybe left leg works towards straight, maybe left toes peel, depending on your flexibility and how you feel right now. Inhale to sink, cow lunge. Exhale to that cat lunge, lift your hips, round your spine. Maybe left leg straight, maybe toes lift. You decide if that's appropriate. We don't want to force it. One more time. Rebend into your front knee, plant your right palm. Lift your left arm to the sky for a twist. And notice if your right hip is really dumping down. See if you can engage. Find the strength and stability. We're going to recruit that for some of our floats and flying. One more inhale. Exhale to a side plank. So you can keep your hand lifted. You can always drop your right knee. I'm going to move into Vashisthasana, that side plank on my hand. Left foot stacks, left hip stacks, left arm lifts. Keep breathing. And I love to practice on the grass, especially when it comes to inversions versus a hardwood floor or even against a wall, because I build a little bit more confidence. But you want to feel comfortable, like you're not going to hurt yourself. So I might scoot or turn around so I don't fall off the edge of this cliff. You might find having some cushions really helps. We're still here. One more breath in. Exhale through chaturanga. You can take it halfway. You can drop your knees. You can always come to your belly. Up dog or cobra, lift your heart. To downward facing dog, hips to the sky. A moment here to notice. Move around if you need to move around. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. Step or hop to your hands, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, release, exhale. Inhale to stand, arms reach high. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Same thing to the other side. So weight this time to your right foot. Left leg lifts, one-legged Tadasana. Big breath in. Exhale to that easy warrior 3. A little lean forward, a little extension backward. But again, don't worry about how high it goes. Think of hugging inner thighs together, wrapping your belly in and up. Engage your glutes, your hamstrings, your back muscles. Find a nice stable shape. And just like sometimes our tree pose, sometimes our standing balances and handstands are not super stable, and that's okay. One breath in. Big step back, hands frame your front foot. Sink your hips, inhale, look forward. Exhale to that cat lunge, lift your hips. Find a stretch. 2 more. Move with your breath. Last one. Rebend into your right knee, plant your left palm, reach your right arm to the sky. Lift your left hip. Find that stability. For me, I get a good stretch here on the outer right glute and hip. Full breath in. We're going to take that long Vashisthasana side plank hold. Any variation. Forearm can always drop. Knee can always drop. Continue to breathe. I won't talk as much, but maybe I'll talk a little bit to distract us. Find one more inhale. Exhale, release. Move through your vinyasa flow or straight back to a down dog or a child's pose. We're going to play with some little hops. So shorten your down dog, hands a little closer to feet. Bend your knees a lot till your belly can come to your thighs. Keep your hips really high. And then look between your fingertips or in front. I like to think about a little triangle. And then begin to hop up with your hips. Don't think about your feet, just your bum. Lifting over your shoulders. Weight into your fingertips. That gaze forward to find a little hang time. One more, step or hop it up, forward fold. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. And exhale, fold, release. Stand, hands float high, full breath in. Palms together in front of your heart. We're gonna add on a little bit. Weight into your left foot, right leg lifts, one-legged Tadasana, inhale. Exhale to warrior three. This time send your hands back like airplane wings. We're gonna move through those shapes. Inhale to lift your leg, hands high. Exhale, send your foot back, chest forward. Once more, breathe in and breathe it out. Hold here, inhale. Big step back, hands plant, exhale. Twice through your cow and cat lunge. Inhale to sink your hips. Exhale to lift your hips, find that stretch. One more, breathe in and breathe it out. Find that sink again. Plant your right palm, lift your left arm to the sky for your twist. We're not gonna go back to side plank. Hold here, breathe in. Release your hand, breathe it out. You're gonna hop switch your feet. Some people call this flying monkeys. A few times. Try to keep your hips really lifted, your chest and upper back kind of rounded, and use your core to stay really light on your toes if you can. You decide how fast you go. A few times. It's okay if your foot doesn't come all the way forward. End up with your right foot forward and carry that right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Open up your hip, bend your knee. Allow for some movement here, circles, bend, straighten. And then extend your leg long. Heel lifts, toes point down, look forward, and play with floating your left hand off your mat, opposite arm and leg. Release your hand, keep your foot lifted, shift forward, one-legged plank, and then see if you can play with that. Same thing, left arm lifts. Ooh, that's a lot of pelvic floor for me. Where can you squeeze in, engage? Release hand, release foot. Find your way to down dog, take your flow if you want it. And breathe. We'll play with those same hops, so maybe hands come a little closer to your feet. Bend your knees a lot, imagine belly to thighs, and then see if you can find that shape in the air. So your belly really reaches to your thighs because your hips reach so high over your shoulders. Find your gaze, point your drishti. I like to lift at the bottom of an exhale. You find the breath that makes more sense for you. Little hops. Worry less about what it looks like, more about what it feels like to find that strength and confidence through your upper body to hold yourself up. Maybe one more, step or hop it forward. Always awkward on that last one for me. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out and fold. Inhale up, hands float high. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. So we've got our second side. Weight into your right foot this time. Left leg lifts, one-legged Tadasana, arms overhead. Exhale to warrior three with airplane arms, send your arms back. Two more, so weight is on one foot. You're releasing your core muscles and hip flexors to lift. All those stabilizers to hold you as much in place on the standing leg as possible. One more time. And that'll translate to handstand or being upside down. Full breath in. Big step back. Find that supported lunge. 2 times cow and cat lunge. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your hips. One more. Rebend your front knee. Plant your left palm. Right arm to the sky. Work into your twist. Open it up. Release your hand down. Take those same little flying monkeys or hop switches a few times. Don't worry about how many you get. Try to find that lift and a lightness on your feet. I come onto my fingertips. We'll land with left foot forward. 3-legged dog. Open up your hip. Left leg up and back. Play with movement here. Extend your leg long. Hug inner thighs and core. Look forward. Try to float your right hand. Release your hand, shift forward, one-legged plank. Can you squeeze inner thighs toward each other, engage your low belly, your back, and float your right hand again. When you've had enough, release it down. Foot and hands. Come all the way down to your belly. Sphinx pose, elbows in front of you. Forearms parallel. Hug your shoulder blades together. Really press into the tops of your feet. Engage your glutes to support your low back. Lift your low belly. And then if you'd like, you can play here moving between a sphinx and a sphinx and seal. Press into your fingertips to lift your elbows and then lower down. Can you keep your shoulders sort of out of your ears here? So you move into a handstand shape, normal, with arms reaching up for your shoulders to lift a little. That's just anatomically appropriate. Sometimes even in yoga, we'll say things like shoulders out of ears. Well, they're gonna go up. What we don't want is that crunching, collapsing, extra muscular tension. So we really wanna recruit our back muscles to support. For me, this really helps turn those on. Back to Sphinx if you're playing. Elbows wide, stack your hands, rest your forehead. Breathe into your back. You can hang out, you can shimmy your hips side to side. You can windshield wiper your feet right and left. Really sit down, child's pose, balasana, whatever variation you like. Downward facing dog eventually, and find a downward facing dog with your feet really wide. I'm on this towel here. If you're on a yoga mat, maybe about as wide as your yoga mat, wider than hip distance, and hands a little closer to your feet. Take a twist, right hand toward your left leg. It might touch your ankle, it might not. You can simply bring it to the mat in front of your left foot, or it might be more comfortable up higher. And then really switch sides. We're gonna find those same little hops, but this time with our feet wide. I like to think about a malasana squat in the air. You might think about a straddle with your legs straight. For me, it's easier if I don't think about my feet, I just think about hips. So we're gonna bend knees a lot, almost like you're taking belly to thighs, and then think about hips up. Really press strong into your arms, straight, strong arms. Weight into your fingertips, gaze in front of or between your hands. Little hops. When you've had enough, step or hop, malasana squat. Heels in, toes out, hands to your heart. Open up through your chest. Lengthen through your spine. Breathe here. You can take a little wrist stretch. One hand, fingertips point down. Gently press with the other hand. Switch. And maybe shake out, roll out. We're gonna do some more on our hands. Some play into handstands in a moment. Find another breath in. Forward folds, keep your feet wide. Hold opposite elbows, ragdoll. Sway side to side. Release your hands, heel toe your feet in toward each other. Soften your knees, tailbone heavy, roll to standing. Head is the last thing to arrive. Shrug your shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Reset what you need. Clothing, breath, stance, space. And then allow yourself a little stillness. Eyes can close or gaze can soften out in front. We're gonna move into some more handstand play with one leg lifted. So try to visualize yourself in an L shape. One foot to the sky, the other foot extending out, like your legs are making the letter L. I'm going to scoot back on my mat. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and adjust in any way that you need. So a big part of feeling confident into moving into your inversions is obviously feeling confident in your space. So for me, if I'm too far forward up on mat, I'm always afraid of falling, or right now I'm afraid of falling down this little cliff into the lava rocks. So we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. So for me, that means scooting back. For you, that might mean going to a wall, although I encourage you to try it without a wall. You're going to bring hands to your heart. Weight to your left foot, and like we did before, that one-legged Tadasana with your right foot up. Play with extending your right leg up out in front. This is the shape that you're going to be making in the sky. Arms can float high. Take this to your warrior 3. Foot back, arms forward. And then right back to that one-legged Tadasana, either with your knee bent or with your legs straight. One more time. Breathe out, shift it back, hands forward. Breathe in, back to your one-legged Tadasana, knee bent or legs straight. This time we're going to take it to a standing splits. Hands move down toward the ground. Pause here for a moment. You can work this stretch. I'm feeling a lot in my left leg. Notice if your right toes want to open, your hip wants to open. See if you can keep your toes pointing down and hug inner thighs toward each other. And we're just going to play kind of like we did in those flying monkeys, but through a handstand, switching your legs. So you're going to think about lifting your right leg up, and then mid-air, swap right foot down to left leg up. So it'll look like this, a shift forward, up, up, right foot down, left foot up, up, down. So just playing with that little hop switch, maybe catching a little hang time in the middle. And I'm really using my top leg to lift, glutes and hamstrings, and my bottom leg to push. But I'm not thinking of leaning so far forward that I'm going to kick all the way into a back bend. I'm more thinking about reaching up. So to the sky and then down. And you can always play with one foot working into that L, but there's something about the hang time of the switch that feels good. Let's end with right foot down, left leg up, and then cross your left ankle behind your right. Forward fold. Walk your hands over to your right. Feel free to bend your knees, one or both. And walk your hands over to your left. Back to center. Hands come a little bit forward. Weight into your right foot, so the foot on top. You might have to bend your knees. You might have to readjust. Left foot reaches to the sky. So you're in a standing splits with your right foot down. We're just going to gently peel open toward a half moon. We haven't done a lot of open hip shape, so go as far as your body wants to go. Just playing with balance in a slightly different way, which really helps for that confidence moving upside down in a balancing shape. Nice. When you've had enough, release, forward fold. And take whatever you need, a ragdoll, a pedal out. I'm going to tuck and curl into a little ball. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Rise to standing, arms high. Palms together in front of your heart. We just have one more side. Weight into your right foot, left leg comes up. Find that one-legged Tadasana. Maybe extend your leg straight out in front. Reach your arms to the sky, breathe in. Warrior 3, foot back, arms forward. Inhale, reach. Straight or bent, you decide. Exhale, send it back. Last time to lift. This time as you send it back, take it all the way into your standing splits. A moment to pause. Right leg is down, left leg is high. And then we'll play with those handstand hop switches. Palms flat. Think about lifting your left leg, then your right, and placing your left leg down first. So left is down, right, left, right is down. Super straight arms. Gaze between your fingers or out in front. Mine works better when I'm not talking. And maybe a little hang time. Think about hips high. When you've had enough, release. Left leg down. Find that standing splits. And then cross your right ankle behind. Walk your hands to your left. Send your hips a little right. Through center to the other side. And back to center. Weight into your left toes, shift your weight forward, right leg reaches back up, so back to your standing splits, and then play with peeling open, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Really activate your lifted leg, both legs. Open up your right hip and shoulder, just as much as your body allows. Hopefully you're warm enough to get here. If not, stay where it feels appropriate. Big breath in. Release forward folds, breathe it out. Pedal out, sway, tuck and curl, ragdoll, whatever you'd like. Begin to lower your knees down. In your time, we'll come to standing on our knees. Adjust, arms wide. Give yourself a hug, hold opposite shoulders or connect your palms, your eagle, and explore a little bit of movement. Circles up and down. Stretch through your back. Both variations. So switch arms when you're ready. Reach it wide, big breath in. Hands to your low back as you breathe out. Hug your elbows in, lift your heart. Camel. Press your hips forward, open through the front of your body. We did a lot of hip flexors, a lot of core strength, and a lot of back. Find a nice stretch here. Maybe you tuck your toes and reach for your heels. Keep pressing your hips forward. Keep breathing. As that feels like enough, release it down. Find your way all the way to a seat with your legs out in front. Reach your arms in front and slowly lower to your back. Hug your right knee into your chest. Reach your right foot to the sky, point and flex your toes, roll your ankle in both directions. And take a half happy baby. Right hand wherever it comfortably reaches. Left hand to your left hip, ground down through that extended leg. And when you're ready, switch. Left knee in, right leg extends, reach your left foot to the sky, point flex, roll your ankle. Bend into your left knee, find that half happy baby shape. Stay long and extended through your right side. And then draw both knees into your chest. We'll take a spinal twist. Both knees to one side. Head turns in the opposite direction. You can always extend one leg straight, cross your thighs. And then through center to the other side. As you feel even back to center, any last shapes movement that you like, hip stretch, another twist or back bend, or let yourself get set up for final rest, Shavasana. Feel yourself supported and held here. Eyes closed or soft, face relaxed, and really let your body rest. Welcome stillness. You can stay here as long as you like. If you're ready to move on with your day, start with some small movements, wiggles, stretches, and eventually find your way up to a comfortable seat. Palms together in front of your heart. Thank yourself for making the time to move, to breathe, to play, to explore a little confidence, maybe get over a little fear and build some extra strength. I thank you, as always, for joining me. We'll bow our heads together in silence. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to practice again with you soon.